What up? And welcome back to another episode of Gritty Knows Best, baby. That's right. That's right. It's Gurfy. And today we got another new guest on the show. We got Fresh Meat. Right, Justin? But before we get to that guy, let's introduce this guy. Let's introduce Justin real quick. Let's give him a proper introduction. He is a YouTube legend, a current YouTube superstar, the artist formerly known as Simfuckus, the big pro G, Justin. There we go.
Yeah.
Give you the proper intro.
What up?
I was gonna just be like, here's Justin, but then I was like, no, I can't do that. Can't disrespect him like that.
Man, you can, but you can't.
We got some fresh meat on the block, Justin. You ready for this? Big interview.
Fresh meat.
That's right.
Fresh meat.
This guy is a way better interviewer than me. And he just gave me some advice before we got on the show. He said, you know what the key thing about doing a show where you interview people is? You gotta listen.
Gotta
And I was
listen.
like, I didn't think of that. And I'm probably gonna forget that. I'm probably gonna forget that right after this, actually.
Yeah.
I'm probably not even gonna listen to him.
I'm probably going to talk right over him.
I'm gonna talk right over our
do.
guest right here. Let me give him his proper introduction. He is a way better interviewer than me, and he is the host of the podcast Rice Cakes and Pears, which is a podcast that aims to shatter the illusion of the so-called perfect life that inundates us every day via social media, and it wants us to accept the dope weirdness within all of us. He is none other than the man, the interviewer, Zach Barber.
Yo, holy moly, dude, I've never been introduced like that. I have
Like that?
goosebumps right now.
Like that shit right there, Zach?
Dude,
was good.
that was amazing.
Thought about that all night. I was like, social media inundation. Gotta throw that big word in there.
That was epic, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, well, now let's talk about you. Forget about me right now. Let me start listening. Let me take your advice. So you
Yeah, dude.
just interviewed Justin on your show that I just named Rice Cakes and Pears, which we'll talk about why that's called that. Very interesting name. I thought that was very cool when Justin told me. I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean you're going to be on a show called? Was that a cooking show? I was like,
Such a combo, yeah.
I was like, what is that? And it was a great interview for those of you who didn't listen to it. I was only going to listen to 5 minutes, and then I just listened to the whole thing because it was cool. It was great.
Yeah. It was.
But Justin was a little disappointed at the end of it because he didn't get to talk about something that you guys have in common or have had in common, and that is that you guys have had a G-tube. You still have yours. Justin got rid of his a couple years ago. So
Yeah.
why don't you explain to everybody what a G-tube is and how you got that?
Yeah, so I was like blown away because when Justin brought that up, he's like, dude, you know I had a G2. I was like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah, it's in like my most viral video from like 10 years ago. I was like, dude, I'm an idiot. And so I went and looked at the YouTube video and I saw that he had a G-tube. So I had to screenshot that frick, put it on an Instagram post with me in it. Anyways, a G-tube is basically when it's for people who can't eat food or like can't get enough nutrition because they can't tolerate a lot. And it can vary from person to person, like Justin with his progeria. But for me, I was on a diet of rice and pears. And you can't really sustain your life with rice and pears. I tried, but it didn't work. So I drank medical formula, which is like sold nutrition. Like you can survive off this only. And so I drank it for 3 years. It was nasty. I couldn't take it anymore. So my senior year of high school, I got a G-tube. I was always against it just because I wanted to fit in, but I was kind of forced to just like embrace my situation. So the G-tube makes it so I can inject the formula into my stomach instead of tasting it because it's so nasty.
Okay. So why were you on the Rice Cakes, Pears, and nutrition shake diet?
Yeah. So is it cool if I start from the beginning?
Yeah,
like where it all started?
exactly.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
So I was a pretty normal dude relatively for most of my life. And then when I was 12, I started eating foods and throwing up, and it was pretty bizarre. My mom thought it was like a stomach bug. And so I swam growing up and I got swimmer's ear. And at 12, I was throwing up. I lost like 20 pounds. And so I went to the doctor for swimmer's ear and they checked my weight. They're like, yo, they didn't say yo, but they were like, Zach, you've lost a lot of weight and you should probably see a GI. Like, screw the swimmer's ear thing. We'll fix that up. But like, you need to go to a GI like soon. And so I went to the GI, a gastroenterologist, and they suspected I had a rare disease called Eosinophilic Esophagitis, EOE for short.
Damn, that's a fucking
I'm glad I didn't put that in the
dude.
intro. I'd have
Eosinophilic
messed that up.
esophagitis.
He has esophagitis.
Oh, yeah, hold on, we're not here.
Yeah, I would have messed up my whole intro.
So the way they test it is they basically do an endoscope or endoscopy. I'm not sure how you say it, but they put a tube down your throat. They take a couple biopsies, and they basically see if you have a high white blood cell count in regard to your eosinophils. So eosinophils is part of the name. Eosinophils are white blood cells. And so basically, I had really high eosinophils, so I got diagnosed with EOE. So I was 12. I was like, yo, I don't know what's going on. Like, I just got diagnosed with a disease, but over the next 3 years, from 12 to 15, I was like throwing up all the time. So the symptoms, I throw up, I get terrible like stomach pain after eating, just malnutrition comes with that. And that's really when at 15, my doctor was like, Zach, we got to put you on a medical formula diet. And at the time he was like, it'll be 3 months. And so I was like, okay, this will suck. But think of the medical formula as like an overly sweet protein shake that just is like the nasty.
Yeah, that's
but
what I
like
pictured.
it made me feel better, right? And so basically for 3 months, my doctor was like, okay, we'll put you on that. And after 3 months, your body should calm down and we can reintroduce food slowly. And so after 3 months, I was like, sweet, this would be awesome. And after 3 months, we were going to introduce foods in my diet again. But the weird thing is for the next 8 years, all I could get back in my diet without throwing up or getting pain or feeling sick was rice. And then it was canned pears. I do say pears, but it was like pear cups or whatever.
Right.
And then formula. So like that was nuts. And for 8 years, from 15 to 23, I was on rice, pears, formula. And then this past, or I guess in 2020, I was 24 and I found these meds that have allowed me to tolerate food for the first time in like 8 years. So
wow,
it's been a wild journey.
Wait, so you're eating again?
Yeah. So I'm tolerating, I know it's nuts, dude. I'm tolerating most things now. I'm not absorbing the nutrients super well. So I still have my tube. I'm kind of in that transition phase.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's been nuts.
Wow, let me give you a cheer effect on that because that's great to hear.
Yeah, dude.
Dang. So you have got a medication. It was because your white blood cell was too high. That's why your stomach was messed up?
Yeah, so my white blood cells just mistook food as a germ. My white blood cells are just idiots. They would just like attack my body.
Yeah, they were attacking us.
And how long were you throwing up before your doctor was finally like, all right, we got to put you on the liquid diet? How long were you suffering with all that?
Yeah, dude. So, I mean, over the course of those 3 years from 12 to 15, it was like up and down. So I would like try different meds. It's sort of it's a pretty rare disease, not as rare as progeria, I'll tell you that. But like I would try meds, nothing would work. So they were like, all right, let's put you on gluten-free. That didn't work. And so they just tried so many different things, nothing worked. So their last resort was like, let's just put this dude on formula and see what happens.
Dang. And then you just got the G tube. So you didn't have to drink it all the damn time. Yeah, because that could be tiring drinking that.
So nasty.
That's got to be, eventually, it's got to be boring to just to drink that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Justin.
Like during 12 to 15, did you carry a bag? Like, I'm gonna eat something. Hold on. Ah.
Yeah, seriously though. There were times because I would cheat. Like, thankfully, like it's weird with this disease. It varies. So like some people will get like an anaphylactic reaction, but thankfully for me, like that wasn't the case. So if I were gonna cheat, like I lived in Texas, so Whataburger is like a staple there.
Oh.
So I'd go eat Whataburger, and then like an hour, not even an hour, like 30 minutes later, I'd go, all right, to my friends, like I'm gonna go throw up. They all just like understood, like, yo, Zach's gonna throw up.
It was routine at that point. We were wondering that. We were like, what did you do when you went out to eat with your friends and stuff? Were you just like, all right, just give me some pears? You got any pears in the back? Seriously.
It was really difficult. So I'd say like this disease is a physical disease for sure, but mentally it wrecks you because our society revolves around food. So it's like, yo, let's hang out with our friends. What are you going to do? Eat, right? You go on a date. What are you going to do? You're going to eat. So every social gathering revolved around food. So if I didn't cheat, I would start just carrying rice cakes with me because like I wouldn't want to cook a bowl of rice. It was just something to nibble on because it wasn't enjoyable. Like I would just nibble on it just for the social aspect because I'm not one to make people feel bad or awkward, even though it already was.
Right.
And so I just wanted to I learned how to just embrace like enjoying the presence of others, but that was still difficult to do.
Isn't that weird that you not eating in front of everybody who is eating makes them uncomfortable? But it's true. Even like if you're eating something, like when I started eating healthier and I was around people that were eating just regular food and stuff, like fried stuff and pizza. You want pizza? Like, why are you not eating this? Why are you not eating what we're eating right now? I was like, I just want to just chill. Like, why are you? I should be the one uncomfortable. I got a freaking rice cake in my mouth, or you got a burger.
Yeah, they hyper focus. Like then they start asking you questions about your disease, and you already don't want to talk about it.
Like, just enjoy the food.
Yeah.
So my question that I thought of last night was: so you were eating rice cakes, but did you go into the aisle? Like, what did you test out every kind of rice cake there was? What is the supreme superior rice cake? Tell us right now.
Yo,
What is the best rice cake ever?
dude?
Quaker? I'm thinking Quaker, Justin, because I love those.
Quaker is up there. Quaker, they're light,
Yeah.
airy, and they get the job done.
You got to get the
And
job
it's low
done.
cal if you're trying to like die, which is great.
Right.
So if you're not trying to get calories.
hmm Yeah, because you're
Well,
already getting pears in there. So
Yeah, you know what? I've never put pears on a rice cake, so I might have to do that.
But
Really?
did you eat rice cakes? 'Cause, you have caramel rice cakes, chocolate chip rice cakes. Did you
Yeah.
switch it up?
Dude, no. So I couldn't tolerate anything other than like the
Wow.
salted
Even a few
regular
chocolate
flavor,
chips,
which
you
is
would
like
have
cardboard.
everywhere.
It was like
No.
diarrhea.
Damn. So nothing, just straight white rice. Now I could live off white rice. Now I don't know if
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to. I don't want to put that out, like say that, and then I have to. But I mean, I eat white rice all the damn time. But I don't know if I'd want to do that at a restaurant when everybody's eating. That must have been depressing for like the first couple of years, right? Like,
Dude, for sure, man. Like, so at like 15, when this all happened, like no one knew I had a disease. Like I was kind of like, I mean, that's not really something you just tell your friends.
Yeah.
And so I was a sophomore in high school and they put me on this diet of just formula and then later rice and pears. And like, I was like terrified to like tell my friends or whatever. So at lunch, I would I would want to bring formula to school. I didn't want to do that.
oh,
So I would bring like literally a rice cake and I could tolerate like Smarties because it's just sugar, like artificial.
okay.
Yeah, I would eat those together. That was a pretty good combo. But it'd be like 50 calories, and that doesn't really do it for you when you're at school.
No.
And I would also say, like, I mean, mental health is everyone struggles with it to some extent, but like it really wrecked me mentally at the beginning.
What was the
and
hardest aspect of that?
Just denying yourself your instinct. Like it's a human instinct to want to eat and just like enjoy things, but like to force yourself to eat like cardboard and little Smartie and then nasty formula was like almost traumatic. Not trying to be dramatic in that way, but it was pretty traumatic to go through that for 8 years.
A lot of times we just eat for the taste. Like, sometimes we eat when we're not hungry. So now you're missing out on all that stuff you're used to. It's not like you were born with that where you're just like, oh, I don't know what that tastes like. I don't know what I don't know what bacon tastes like. Like, you know what that tastes like. And then did you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah. So I'm the youngest in my family. So I have a twin sister, just 5 minutes older, and then 2 older brothers.
Okay, so now everybody's at the family table eating breakfast, and you're just like, "Damn, like this sucks." So
Yeah,
that was the hardest part, like denying the food that you loved.
Yeah, and I was pretty upset at the beginning of all this. Like I remember there was a Thanksgiving, and I forced my dad to drink formula because I was just like a jerk. I was just so pissed at the world at the beginning, and then later I kind of realized, what was that?
He did it.
Yeah.
You have a good dad.
Yeah, he did it. He did it. I think he probably ate turkey.
I would have been like,
in another room.
well, you're on your own there, pal. Pass some
Yeah,
potatoes.
I know, right? He should have done that. I was being a butt.
That was me and Justin were thinking about that last night. We're like, what did he do for the holidays? Like, did he just? We said we would have just slept all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, those sucked. I would like. It was hard because I had to learn my limits. So like some holidays, I would just be like, okay, I'm just gonna go hang outside with our dog and just chill, just be away from it. I don't want to look at everyone eating. But then there were other times where I'd kind of push through and eat my rice. And then I think over time there was good communication where like, hey, don't focus on the fact that Zach can't eat. So like that helped too. Like just communicating with family members, hey, Zach just wants to be a part of the conversation. He doesn't want to like feel more isolated than he already is.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be pretty rude for them to bring it up at the table.
Yeah.
Like, why would they even do that? I don't know if that should even been a conversation. Like, you should already known. Like, that's a no.
Yeah, they'd like eat a bite and look at me, and then they'd like have a sad face.
Oh my God, just make it worse, make it more obvious.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Zach. I'm like, just let's not focus on that. Come on.
Just eat.
So
Go ahead.
it was
Yeah, just eat.
8 years of that.
Yeah, dude, it was hell.
Oh, you're definitely a trooper. You're stronger than me. I don't know what I would have done. I would have just been sleeping all day. I love to eat way too much, and even like a drink, like so a Snapple or something, bleh, you would have vomited.
Yeah, so like for a lot of these reactions, so like another symptom I get is called brain fog, which sounds made up, but it like affects my mental state where like I feel really spacey, and then like I get more anxiety and sadness. So it's really weird, but like I guess maybe there is a connection with your gut and brain. But that would be a lot of my reactions is I'd feel really bad, but on top of like getting pain in my stomach.
Now, I know what that's like because with anxiety, which I have, you get brain fog. I used to get it a lot maybe like right out I got out of high school. I had a big bout with anxiety. I would get that a lot. So I know exactly what that's like. Yeah.
Do you know what triggered it?
I mean, yeah, it was just a bunch of circumstances, and I was probably just born with anxiety and just stuff just triggered. It was just, it's a hard time in your life for a lot of people when you just get out of high school. There's all these, you're in relationships and you have this going on, and I was trying to, build this whatever. I was trying to just do entertainment and stuff, so I was just stressed out on a lot of angles, and I just kind of my brain just broke a little bit, but I came back. I bounced. Oh, and I was eating like horrible too. Like I was eating like the worst diet ever. I wasn't sleeping. So just a bunch of stuff combined, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Like even to this day, if I'm in like a really stressed state, I could get brain fog. Like I probably had it a couple months ago when I was going through like a couple panic attacks and stuff. I would have it throughout the day, but now I'm more able to just be like, oh, I know what this is. It's gonna be gone in a couple of days. Like the more you accept it, the quicker it's gonna go away. Now, yeah. Justin, when you had your G tube, right? You had it. Yeah. You ate the whole time though. Oh, it was because you got it when you were a baby, and then why'd you stop getting fed through it?
So I got it when I was like 1 or 2 because my mouth was too small to digest. So they put it in for like a precautionary thing, right? So they can give me food. But then like around 3, I was just eating. My grandpa would cut shit up, and I would eat by my mouth. Mm-hmm. So from like 3 to 18, when I got it taken out, I just ate and I never used it. Right. It was in for, like I said, precautionary. And then when I was 18, I'm like, fuck it, I got it taken out.
Why did it take so long for them to take it out?
Well, like I said, it was precaution.
So just in case you ever relapse?
In case something ever happened to me.
Okay.
So they just left it in so they could feed me in the hospital.
Okay, so in case you had to go back to the hospital, which you really never did, right? As long as I know, you never had a big stint in the hospital.
No.
So at 18, you kind of took a risk taking that out.
Yeah, it was my decision. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I could see why they wouldn't be like, oh, let's take it out now. They would just like just hold on in case something happened, because a lot of the kids with progeria in and out of the hospital, so it's pretty common for you to probably want to leave that in.
Yeah, and it was during a period where it broke. Mm-hmm. So I had to make a decision, like get a new one or just take the fucking thing out.
Was it coming out when it broke?
No, I taped it closed. Like I don't know if you ever seen the old school tubes, but I taped the top shut so it never leaked or nothing.
Now you had some old school tube, like you said, but Zach was talking about he had like a glow in the dark one. You had all kind of different like gadgets. Like, so did you have a bunch of G tubes? You had a bunch of different ones? Yeah. Like you had a bunch of different ones?
Yeah. So when I first got my G tube at 18, like they just hooked me up with the glow in the dark one. And
wow,
like,
right off the bat.
That's how they sold me. I was like, I'm not getting a G tube. Like it's going to glow in the dark. So I was like, all right, take my money. And so, it was pretty cool. Like it almost lightened the situation. Cause like I went to college.
No pun intended.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. No pun intended. But like I'd go in the hot tub. And I'd charge it up before, so I'd shine my like iPhone light on it.
Oh,
And I'd
nice.
go in the hot tub, and all these chicks would be just like sucking on it. No, I'm just
Yeah.
playing.
Oh,
But they'd
okay.
just be
There
like,
we
"Yo,
go,
what's
Zach.
up?"
All right. Sucking on the G-tube. Go a little lower than that. Come on. What are you doing on the
Right.
G-tube?
So,
Yeah, get a little formula on their mouth.
like, what is it made out of? Because mine was fucking cheap rubber.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be
Dude, I don't-
waterproof, right? So what?
Yeah,
can't
it was
be
waterproof
plastic?
for sure.
Is it
It,
plastic?
it was rubber.
Oh, it's rubber.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, mine was cheap rubber, and
Oh, there it is.
It
Now we got it.
it
there we
got
go.
all discolored, and every 3 years I had to change it.
Okay. So the glow in the dark one was the only one you had. You didn't have like a rhinestone one. You didn't have like a gold one. Any flashy other ones?
Bro, I mean, I should start a business. Justin, we can go in on it. But
Yeah.
like, we need to up the G-tube game. I mean, they have like the G-tube like patches you can put on. I'm not going to stand up because I don't want to hit the mic
Yeah.
again. I think that's when it happened. But like, it kind of covers where the formula would ooze out, but there's no like gold or colorful G-tubes out
Yeah,
there.
you guys got to start a business right now, like the Rolls Royce of G-tubes.
Yeah.
Right?
You can start on Etsy. You don't even need to make a website. We'll plug it. We'll plug it.
Etsy, that's so great.
We'll talk business after this. I'll have to throw some money
Yeah.
down. I'll be an investor.
Dude, and then we can go on Shark Tank.
Oh yeah, they'll grow the podcast that way. It's a win-win for everybody.
And the efficiency of eating with the G-tube is like no other. It takes about 3 minutes.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you just hooked
I seen it on TikTok. You just stand over the sink and fucking inject yourself.
How does
Yeah.
it work? How do you put the what do you have, like some kind of vial and it hooks into the G-tube?
Yeah, so the G-tube's always there, and then you get like a connector, so it's like a tube.
Mm-hmm.
So you put it in, and then you have a syringe where you just suck out formula or breast milk, and then
Wow.
you just squirt it right in there.
Nice. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's, I mean, you're pretty efficient. Like you don't have to really spend too much time of your day eating. That's the only benefit of that whole thing, is like you're living very minimalistically. You don't
Yeah,
got to
dude,
worry
when-
about what you got to eat. You don't got to worry about what's for breakfast. You don't got to cook anything. You just know rice cakes, pears, and formula. So was that like the only? It cleared up some space in your brain, maybe.
Yeah, dude, I had a lot more free time. So when my wife, we got married only 3 years in June, but we started
Nice.
dating 2018, and I would inject, and like she was like, "Wait, I need to eat," and I'd forget about that. Like she had to eat food, and it takes like 30 minutes. So that was an adjustment. It was kind of funny.
Oh, at that point, you could just go play video games. You could just do whatever while she's eating. But you would probably sit there like a good husband or boyfriend, right? You wouldn't just leave her there.
Yeah, sometimes.
I just be like, I'm about to go play a game. I'll catch you later.
Yeah,
Finish
enjoy
that
your
burger up.
shrimp.
Was she a quick eater, or is she one of those people that take their time?
She takes her time, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
That was
it'd
like
be-
the biggest roadblock in our relationship. We had to get over that.
it would be better if she was one of those people that I go out to eat with. Sometimes they just swallow their food in like
Yeah.
1 second. I don't know how they
Yeah.
do it. I have people I go out to dinner with, and I'm just cutting the first piece of steak, and they're just like, all right, so yeah, then I'm done. They're just like
Yeah, it's
scraping the
it's
last.
Like my uncle, he makes a plate and he just,
It's just gone.
yeah.
Jeez.
So you had to sit there and watch her just eat very slowly and deliberately, huh?
Yeah, man. Well, and even while we were dating, she ended up losing a lot of weight 'cause she felt so bad. I mean, it makes sense. People feel bad, and I try to like say, hey, like just eat, but she just wouldn't eat a lot. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Hang out with me and Justin. We eat all day. We don't care.
Yeah.
I
Really?
eat all
Yeah, man.
day.
If you would have grew up with us, first of all, you wouldn't have had to worry about us like, ostracizing you. Like I'm sad. I feel bad you felt that way. You couldn't bring formula to school. Like that sucks that every kid wants to be included, which is obviously that's part of your podcast that we'll talk about in a little bit. I like that you kind of
Yeah.
add that in. So that sucks that you had to feel ostracized like that. But if you were with us, everybody had something. We wouldn't have cared. We probably would have drank some formula with you. We were always eating something.
Bro, that's the sign of true friendship when I offer a little bit of formula and you taste it.
And then we probably just like, all right, yeah, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We probably would have
Honestly.
gave you probably would have called you ricey, or probably just called you rice cakes.
Dude, I'd love that.
And Dre would have been stealing your rice cakes at night. This is my fucking rice cakes. Oh,
No, I mean, honestly, that's one thing I really like about y'all's podcast is it's like so inclusive in a natural way. Like you're not trying to be like I don't know, fake in any way. Like it's just a bunch of homies who are all different, just like talking. I really
Thank
like
you.
that.
Yeah, I mean that's the way it happened. Like that's honestly the best part of my life is that's something I didn't plan. That's something I didn't expect. Was just all for these people to come together like that and everybody to be messed up in their own way, but we deal with it in stride as much as we can. So if you would have hung out with us, you'd have been just part of the crew. You would have been probably the most normal out of all of us.
Yeah.
Maybe your G2 would have went missing. We would have pulled it out in the middle of the night. But other than that, you would have been fine. You would have survived. But
yeah, if the G2 comes out, your body wants to close holes naturally, so it would just start closing.
Yeah.
How long would it take?
I know about that. Then I took mine out because I had it open for 15 years, so it took forever to close.
Right.
And it got to the point there I had to have surgery to close it. Because it did not close.
Oh, really?
I would have fucking stomach acid leaking out.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Jeez.
Yeah, I never really told anybody, and it burned like hell.
That man was dripping.
Oh, I'm sure.
Bring a new life to the word drippy drippy. That man was dripping everywhere. Got that drip.
I had a bandage on my stomach for years.
I remember that part. Yeah.
Had to change it.
So the stomach acid would leak out like when you were just moving around throughout the day?
Every time I ate something.
Oh.
That'd be so annoying.
Damn.
That's freaking nasty, too.
It is.
How long did that last?
And it
How
has
long
a smell.
Oh, does
Yeah,
it?
it started to stink really bad. So I got it taken out at 18. So I would say, what am I, 28? So I would say from 18 to like 24, I lived with that.
Damn, you had stuff leaking out?
Yeah, and it just got gradually worse because the hole
really?
did not close. Yeah.
It didn't even get better.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you got it sewed up, or how did you get it? How did they do it?
They stapled it closed from the inside.
Oh, okay. Wow. Did they put you to sleep for that? I don't remember this at all. Okay. So
I never really talk about it.
Yeah. So now you're good though.
Yeah.
Everything's good. So now you're eating food again, Zach. You're saying, right?
Yeah.
So this just started for how long?
So it was March of 2020, right when the pandemic hit.
Okay.
Like the universe was like, "Yo, we gotta bless Zach
gave
with
you
some
a gift.
or more than rice and pears."
They gave you a gift during the pandemic. I mean, you're locked up in the house, so now you can eat. That's what you were doing. Now you were a part of everybody else. Everybody was just eating.
Yeah, maybe it was the coronavirus that just like I got infected and it healed me. Who knows?
So they gave you a new medication, right? And then you do the same. Was this like something that just came on the market? You're like, oh, you want to try this because you haven't tried this yet?
Yeah. So I tried everything, and so these meds, it was almost like the last resort. So they aren't even FDA approved yet. So at the University of Utah,
my man's riding dirty right now.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy. It's
Hope your leg doesn't fall off or something.
no, yeah, we'll see it.
We'll see the side effects. Yeah. Well, you've been on it for 2 years now, so you should be fine.
Yeah. No, I think it's promising. So the drug basically kills your eosinophils, which could be sketchy. I don't know, because like you need white blood cells.
That's your white blood cells.
Yeah. So it kills the idiotic white blood cells that mistake food as a germ. And the idea is if there's no more white blood cells that are going to try to attack your body, then like it'd be good to eat.
You got to be careful because that leaves your immune system open.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you, Justin, coming in with the science. All right. Look at you coming in with the science. I didn't know that.
I only noticed because I have a recent situation, so I had to look it up.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So have you prepared for that? Are you taking more vitamin D? Are you drinking any kind of medication to boost your immune system?
For me, no. I mean, I'm just eating whatever I want, and then I do drink formula, like one formula a day. Okay. But the formula I'm on now, it's like a step up from the nasty hypoallergenic. The nasty formula that I used to drink was called Elecare Junior for ages 1 and up.
Okay.
And the formula I have now is like Kate Farms, and it's like a plant-based formula, and the flavor is comparable to like a chocolate or vanilla pudding cup. So it's actually really good. Like my wife drinks them too.
We need to get you over here. We could do a formula taste test.
Yo,
I would love that. I'm sure they have tons of
that'd be
formulas.
awesome.
Let's do that. That sounds
Dude,
great.
I'm down.
So now you took the medication, and what was the first thing you ate? And you were like, oh, I'm not vomiting right now.
I know, dude. Oh my gosh. I started off small because I still kind of had to build a tolerance because when you don't eat something for years, like your body will reject it initially.
You don't want to just have a pizza before.
Right.
Yeah. I think at the beginning I stuck pretty simple and I was very satisfied with it because when you have rice and pears for 8 years, like you learn how to make the most with like nothing. So I had chicken and like broccoli.
Okay.
And that was pretty much it. And it was awesome.
And
like I loved it.
Your mind must have been blown. Broccoli never tasted so good. Usually you didn't want to eat it, but
dude, it was like an orgasm, bro. It was crazy.
oh my God, that must have been the best day of your life. And then it's even better. Like so like a couple hours goes by and you're like, oh, I'm not vomiting right now. Like this is amazing. And then the next day you do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It was surreal. It was like for so many years, there were so many dead ends, so many doctors who couldn't help me. And now I'm on this med that was like not even FDA approved. And like I got samples. I ended up getting insurance to cover it. Otherwise it'd be a buttload of money. But yeah, dude, it was awesome. I would eat chicken and rice and broccoli. I did have rice still. Like rice still goes hard.
You got to have rice. That's the best. Yeah. It's the best food ever.
Classic.
But now you can have like brown rice and black rice and rice and beans now. Now you can have now you can have Spanish
like rice,
style.
Justin?
No, he pisses me off with this.
No.
You piss me off with this. Let him tell him with that stupid thing that you say. The logic.
Okay,
I'm offended.
So I used to be able to eat rice, and then like in my teenage years, 18, it started giving me chest pain. I couldn't digest it.
I don't believe it.
So I just stopped eating rice.
I don't believe it because you eat all kind of other crap. Rice is this man had gastroenteritis and he was eating fucking rice. You are eating like all of the worst things I could. Every day he comes up, look what I got
Taco
today.
Bell.
Look what I got. It's like a chocolate fudge brownie cookie cupcake
Cosmic
freaking
brownie.
popsicle. And I'm just like, oh, but you can't eat white rice. Look what I got today. It's a fried chicken stick dipped in gravy. Oh, but you can't eat white rice? Nah, it gives
That's a
me
little
gas.
sus, bro.
It gives me chest pain.
I can't control
I
what
don't
my body...
buy it at all. I don't buy it.
Hey, to Justin's point, though, a lot of people with EOE can't tolerate rice.
What's EOE?
That,
what, you
that's
have?
short for the
I don't know.
Ejaculacopricolitis.
Are you not fucking paying attention?
I'm starting to listen. I'm trying. You got these big words.
No, dude, you're doing great.
I don't know medical terms. You're the scientist today. So now 2 years you're eating food. How is it? What's the diet like now?
Bro, dude, Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Trying to cut back.
Yeah. Nah. Go ahead. You got time to make up.
I know.
Listen, get fat.
Honestly, yeah.
And get the other problem of you being fat later. Like deal with that. Then we'll come back when you're talking about like, oh, I gotta lose weight.
I will say the first year of eating, I gained I think 20 pounds. I was like, I'm normally like stuck at 170. Yeah, dude. It was glorious.
Amazing.
And go ahead.
I said amazing.
Oh yeah, dude. It was so great. And so I started like gaining like at least 2 pounds a week. And so I was like, frick, like I'm gonna be obese. Like I wanna eat. But like at this trajectory, like I am literally gonna be obese. That's gonna be like an insane transformation.
Yeah.
So and then my G tube will like explode because I still have the G tube. So if you gain too much weight, it'll like it won't be good.
Wow.
But yeah, dude, I gained a lot of weight. It was awesome.
Taco Bell, you said Whataburger before we got on the show, right?
Dude, Whataburger. I like junk food, but I also like creamy Italian dishes.
Yeah, Alfredo.
Just things that are rich.
Fettuccine Alfredo.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Some penny vodka. You ever had that?
Oh, dude, I've never had that.
You got to get it.
You gotta
That sounds
get it.
good. What is it? What would you compare it to?
Penny vodka. I mean, it's like a different kind of sauce. They make it with tomato sauce, but they put vodka and cream cheese, I think it is, or something like that. But it's like a heavy.
That sounds good.
Sauce. It's so good. I don't know what it would taste like, but it's the best Italian dish to me because fettuccine Alfredo is a little too heavy for me now.
Yeah,
like
too good.
depending on who makes it, but sometimes it's a little too heavy. But that penny vodka is right there, and it's like less acidic than the regular tomato sauce, I think, because of the cream cheese and stuff. So it tastes, it's the best. You got to try that. Let me know when you think of that.
Dude, I got to try it.
You might get obese after trying that. So
yeah, dude. So I had to start supplementing. I mean, I want to work out. So I grew up swimming. And so that was especially hard too when you can't eat food because you burn the most calories swimming laps.
Right, of course.
So I'm a swim coach part-time. I really enjoy that. But being around the pool has been great because I swim pretty much every other day, almost every day. And that kind of balances me out where I can stay at a good weight where I feel healthy and I'm not skinny. I feel like I'm at a good spot.
So you were swimming.
I was going to say, like, are you able to work out? Like, is there a fear of it popping open?
Yeah, I haven't really, luckily I've never really had that fear, but that is possible. Like I even swam last August in there's a lake in Utah. I swam, but a lot of people would be a little bit sketched out because you don't know.
Yeah, because I know.
You can get some weird stuff.
I was going to say a lake. And your immune system might be low from that medication. I'd stay out of there. You're gonna be on that show.
On the edge, bro.
You're gonna be on that show, Monster Inside Me, where they get crazy organisms from the lakes in their brains and shit.
Yeah,
a whole new
water's
problem.
Pretty gross. Think about it. People piss in that.
Yeah.
You don't want that floating up your G tube.
It's gross.
Yeah,
that's not gonna be good.
Yes, I was gonna say they told me not to exercise or do anything, and I didn't listen. I played baseball, and the fucking thing popped.
Dang, did it pop out?
Dude.
Yeah, the top broke off. It didn't pop off,
Oh, okay.
but the top broke off.
But you work out now. Look at him.
Technology's better now.
He's jacked now. He's working out. He don't care. He's jacked now. Look at him. Now he can work out.
There's still some little fear that my stomach might, the hole might pop open.
Right.
But it's
You gotta live your life.
Yeah.
That's what we're best at. We're best at just
you kind of just get used to it.
Yeah. So when you were swimming laps as a kid and stuff, you burn all those calories. What did you take, 15 shakes after that? How did you make up for that?
Dude, that was insane, man. It was a 32-ounce shake. So I would put rice milk and formula. And then so I would get these big, thick straws so I could just guzzle it down. And then I put tons of ice in it to make it really cold so you couldn't taste it and just plug my nose.
Yeah, because
you
got to replenish all that energy, replenish all those calories.
I still honestly, I could never bulk up or get big. It was always I would just break even.
Okay, well now you seem like you could do a good job because now you got all those beautiful dishes you're eating.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite right now? You said Italian?
Dude, sushi. I love sushi.
Yes. Yeah.
It is rice. I can't get away from rice, man. It's too good.
You can't. Which rolls is the best? Which roll is your favorite?
I love the Vegas roll.
We were just talking about that. That's the one with cheese in it?
Yeah, it's fried. So it's I guess maybe it's not technically real sushi, but it's fried. It has cream cheese.
What's it? What is it? A fish? Fried salmon or something?
Yeah, it has salmon or I think tuna. And then a little bit of crab, just a lot of good stuff, and they fry it. It tastes really good.
That one I never had, but I like the spicy
rainbow
tuna
as well. That's a fresh one.
Okay, spicy tuna. You down with that?
Oh yeah, I'm not a picky eater whatsoever anymore.
How could you be? It's like you just got out of prison.
Yeah, I'm not gonna jinx it.
Hell no. Well, that's great, man. I'm glad you're back to eat. I didn't expect that. I didn't know that about you, so that was great to hear.
Yeah, man, I've been a little bit open about it, on TikTok or social media. I'll kind of talk about my story and say things are a bit better now because I do have a little bit of a fear. What if things go back to what they were?
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't feel comfortable getting my G-tube out just yet, just because I'm not absorbing the nutrients yet. And it's almost I don't know. I'm just a little nervous.
I was gonna ask, in the future, is there a plan to get it out? Or you're gonna keep it in?
Maybe in the next 2 years, but on TikTok it really gets the views, so I might just keep it for that.
Gotta milk it for the views.
Yeah,
that was good, Jeff. Forgot about that. So you don't know if you're gonna make the decision Justin made just yet, which is good. You might want to just leave it in for a couple years. Justin had it in for a long time, so
yeah.
I might get it out in a couple years.
Just worry about eating right now. Just worry about eating and getting your immune system up so that medication don't mess you up.
Yeah, for real.
So, any other questions about the G-tube and the diet, Justin? Anything you got?
I think we covered everything.
Have you eaten something that you were like, nah, not this. This is not on the diet. Or everything's on the table right now. You'll eat it all.
Good. I'll at least try it. I don't think there's been even mayonnaise. Like I was always grossed out by mayonnaise,
come
but like
on.
I'll eat it on a sandwich.
Now that's
It's all good.
actually good because I was the same way with mayonnaise, and all of a sudden this year I love it now. Before
Yeah.
I was grossed out by it, and then I was walking in the store. I was like, why don't I just try mayonnaise again? And I just ate it, and it was beautiful. It's great. I don't know
You
why.
ever have a mayonnaise sandwich, like just mayonnaise?
Now that's disgusting. It's a
I haven't
topping.
tried-
That's a topping.
I used to have that.
You see what I mean?
Really?
You see what I mean with this guy? But he can't have freaking rice. He's eating mayonnaise sandwiches.
Was it something you enjoyed or something that you could
No,
tolerate?
I asked for it. I enjoyed it. In school, my mom used to make it.
Bro,
You're a sick person.
Yeah.
dude.
That's
Call you mayonnaise.
That's not
Yeah.
as bad as when I was working with kids. I was in the Jewish Community Center, and we had a girl who would come in with a sprinkle sandwich. She had
No
a
way.
piece of bread. She had bread with butter and sprinkles, and
So
she would
they all
eat
stay-
it. Yeah, and she would just eat that.
Stay together.
I would look at her like, I mean, a part of me would be like, that might be good though. Like I don't know, I got to try it.
Yeah,
It might be.
I'd try it.
I think
I don't
I'd
know
rather
if I'd
have
just
that.
do mayonnaise sandwich though.
Yeah, I'd rather have that than a mayonnaise sandwich. You're wilding. You're wilding out right now,
I
bro.
don't think I can eat it straight now.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
So now dinner with your wife is actually like dinner with your wife now, huh? So that's got to
Yeah,
be cool.
man. Yeah, and like I'm almost glad that I met Aubrey when I was at my lowest point, because like there was a point where I wasn't even on rice and pears. I was just on water and formula, and things just went down a really dark path. And this was around 2018, so I met her later that year. At the beginning of the year, I just came back from like this church mission thing, and I had lost 30 pounds and just put myself through a lot of pain. So I was just struggling a lot, but it was cool that I met my wife when I did, because I feel like when you're trying to find a partner, like being vulnerable is like kind of key. Like you got to share like your past. And so I was kind of forced to do that up front. I was like, on my dating profile, because we met on a dating app, I was like, yo, I can only eat rice and pears, but I'm a cool guy. So she messaged me, and like I just tell her my disease up front, because like I just cut to the chase at that point. Like because some people can't handle that, that's fine.
Yeah.
Is that a big deal though? Like, is that
I
a
don't
big
think
deal?
so.
First of all, I'm like, well, I don't got to share. We don't got to buy you food. It's like my bill is in half now.
Cheaper dates.
Yeah, like I don't understand. Why would people have an aversion to that? Is it just
Yeah,
the thing
dude.
that we said people get uncomfortable when you can't eat around them? It's like it makes no sense.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, my wife worked at an orthodontic place, and like her coworkers would be like, "Do you really want to deal with that? Like that's like a burden." And like
Is
my
it?
wife was like, "What are you talking about?" Like,
You know what's
It's all
more of a
good.
burden? If you're like one of those, like if you're dating somebody that just wants to constantly eat. And it's like now you have to constantly go out and constantly buy. Like the other end of the spectrum is far worse. This doesn't seem like
Yeah.
an issue at all. I don't understand why. Are you getting this, Justin? Why would somebody not? I'd be like,
It's
great.
dumb.
Like you're a cheap date.
going through crap like builds your character. So like I feel like I developed my personality. I developed like who I was as a human being, and I feel like that ultimately connected me with Aubrey. I just feel like when you go through stuff, like it forces you to develop your character.
Right. Yeah, we can empathize with that. We totally could relate with that. You know, that's how
Yeah.
we grew up. Because we all were in public school. Justin was in public school for way longer than me, but we were all in public
Yeah.
school before we kind of went into a group where everybody had visual impairments. Or we went to a school like that. But I was always with normal sighted kids. But when you're a little kid, it's a lot different being visually impaired than maybe when you're in high school or middle school. So, you know, we had all went through all that kind of ostracizing and stuff. So it made us stronger at the end of the day, because now we'll just tell people to fuck off, or we don't even care.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter to us, you know. So yeah, that's great that you met her at that time, even though I, again, don't see why that's a problem. I guess people do. And she was just, that's a good starter, because at least you're starting with something. It's not like, hey, like you look cute today. Like you look great. So she was just like, oh, cool. Like, who cares?
Yeah. She did not care. Like, I even told her, because like earlier that year I had like a mental breakdown where like I essentially thought I was being followed, like, and then I was convinced ISIS was after me, because I put myself through a lot of pain. Yeah, it's insane. So like I lost 30 pounds. I was super malnourished, and something snapped in my brain. So I was just nuts. So like literally on our first date, I got diagnosed with a disorder called conversion disorder. when you put yourself through so much pain and psychological stress and don't deal with it, it releases through weird ways. So like paranoia, like I couldn't move my limbs. I couldn't speak. And so any sort of stress, like I couldn't even deal with, like talking with people, noises, lights. And so we go on our date. This is like 5 months after my crazy breakdown. Like 10 minutes in, we're at a snow cone shop and like, we're just hanging out and like, I can feel my mind getting tired. I'm like, no, I don't want to go nuts. Like, I don't get paranoid anymore, but just the weird symptoms. And so I was like, yo, Aubrey, like, is it cool if we go in the car? Cause like, I feel like crap. And this is our first date. And then I'm like telling her about how I just thought ISIS was after me and I have this crazy disease. And she like, you'd think she'd run. And, she was cool with it, man. She was down for the crazy.
Wow, Aubrey's down. We love Aubrey. That's great.
Yeah, shout out Aubrey.
Aubrey's the best. That man said ISIS was after me. She's like, all right, let's get the guns.
Let's fight them.
She's like, fuck ISIS. Come on. That's amazing, man. I mean, that definitely shows like now from the beginning, if that's where you guys started, everything's going to be a lot better from there. You know, she saw
There's
the worst.
nothing you guys can't overcome.
Right.
Yeah, oh, totally, man. And I think that's why I felt so confident, like getting married. Like a lot of people like Justin was kind of saying he doesn't really believe in marriage. Like anyone can believe what they want, but for a life partner, like people don't decide to get married like after like we dated for a year and got married, but people tend to like wait a long time. But it was almost like that process was like sped up because of that. Yeah, expedited.
I could see that. Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes sense for you to go through that and then get married right away. Like you've seen the worst.
Yeah.
So why not? I'd marry her. As soon as she said, as soon as she was told her the ISIS thing, I'm like, let's go to the courthouse. Let's go right now. It's not gonna get much better than this.
On our wedding, when we cut the cake, she fed me a rice cake. It was great.
Oh man, that's beautiful. You got pictures of that? We got to see that.
Dude, I'll send you the pic.
Yeah, send us that pic. Yeah, that's amazing, man. But I can sympathize with you on the part of like not eating, just to make this about me like for 2 seconds, because I just started kind of eating again too, like for the last couple of weeks, because I would just be like really stressed out about stuff or depressed and sad. I'm going to talk about this on a whole nother episode, but for like a couple of years, I wasn't eating that well. Like I would eat maybe once a day. And it first started because I would have to make decisions like, do I want to get equipment or do I want to like spend money on food? And a lot of times I would spend money on equipment and stuff. So I would just eat like Cheerios and stuff or whatever. So for a while it started because of that. And then I started making more money again, but then like the mental stuff started. So then I didn't eat because of that. And that went on for a couple years. And I could say that for the last couple of weeks, I really just a switch flipped in my brain. And I was like, I can't deal with this shit no more. Like I gotta eat, like, because this is going to get really bad. Like you were saying, like your mind you start going nuts. And I knew that that's a lot of it was from that, from me not eating and me being stressed out. So I just started force feeding myself breakfast for maybe 2 days. And then the second day, the switch really flipped. And now I'm eating like an animal. So
dang,
yeah, I'm eating like crazy.
I'm glad you're eating more again though.
Yeah, just as much as I can. I'm wolfing it down, and I feel a lot better. Like I'm sleeping better. I have way more energy throughout the day, and it sounds stupid to say that's like, oh, of course you have more energy throughout the day. But when you haven't done it for years, like it's just like, oh yeah, like it just clicks. Like yeah, this is what I should have been doing. Like you moron. But you know, you're in that state. I didn't think ISIS were after me. I didn't think that, but I didn't get that crazy.
You didn't go that deep.
Yeah.
Like I put myself through that too. Then I had the tube taken out, and the hole was open. As the acid got worse, I was afraid to eat. I did not eat. So
yeah, that makes sense.
I can understand that.
How long did that last? Until they stapled it up?
I did that for about 3 years. Like the last 3 years, when the acid really started coming out, I did not want to eat. I would eat once a day. Like it was bad.
Yeah. So no wonder you're eating like crazy now too, because this guy's been eating like a maniac the last couple of months.
Oh heck yeah!
Every time I see him, I hear a little rap. I'm like, what now? What now? I'm just eating a cookie. I'm like, you had a sandwich. You had a cold cut sandwich 20 minutes. That was 20 minutes ago. Like it didn't even digest yet. So wow, look at the universe aligning everybody together on that one.
This is beautiful.
We're all commiserating. We're all celebrating that we're eating again. And because food is the best, man. So I'm glad we are. Now let's get back to you and let's talk about Rice Cakes and Pears, the podcast. It is it's a dope podcast. I mean, you had Justin on, you had a lot of interesting people on. How did the podcast start and how's it going?
Yeah. So when I went through that crazy mental breakdown experience, like that comboed with my disease, kind of morphed into this podcast. So since 2018, I've like had to drop out of college because when the stress goes up, my body shuts down. So I'm still figuring that out. And so I had to drop out of college in, I think, 2018. And then I could only take like 2 classes. And in 2020, like we were all online, which I actually preferred because like there's some days I feel like crap. So I actually really like that. But in 2020, I was in fall semester in October and I had to drop out of almost every class again. So I had 1 class and I had a lot more time on my hands and I just got really inspired. I was like, yo, like I love being creative. Like I love doing things like I like to make raps about my disease and just anything creatively I like to do. And so I just decided to make a podcast. And I was thinking a lot lately too. This podcast really represents like what I believe in. So like, I believe like mental health, chronic illness, like represent that. But I've always felt different. I've always felt unique, whether it be because of my beliefs or my situation, my disease, my mental illness. So I've always like been able to look past like the cool standard, like being cool, fitting in, like it's overrated. And so I wanted to create a space where like people of every different belief, sexual orientation, whatever it is, just people who are weird, like I'm weird. I want to create a platform where everyone can just come together and like we can appreciate each other in an authentic way. So that, and then Rice Cakes and Pears is just named after those safe foods. It just kind of came naturally.
I don't think you could have named it anything better than that. That was the best. Because when Justin told me, I was like, what? What are you gonna be on?
It's pretty memorable.
Like you eat none of those. Is it just a show where they make rice cakes and pears different ways? Today we're gonna bake the pears and we're gonna eat chocolate rice cakes. But it turned out to be. I mean, like I just said it when I turned the interview on. I'm like, I'll listen to 5 minutes of this. Like this is gonna be. I already know everything about Justin, but I found myself just listening to the whole thing. And what was it? 30 minutes?
Yeah,
it's about a 35-minute interview. And you did one of the things that I love the most. Actually, I got to give you props on this because usually I do not. Do you know what I'm gonna say, Justin?
Yeah.
That about the starting off with like where things started from the beginning. I always hate when interviews start like that. I always hate when people are like, so like, how did you get started? Or like,
take us from the beginning.
Yeah, take us all the way back from when you were born. And I'm just like, most likely I'm clicking on this because I know them already. You know, like it's different if we did it with you because like, you know, our audience doesn't know you yet. But I'm like, you know, most of the time we already know where it started. Let's hear about something else from this person. So I love that immediately off the bat that you started with Pokemon Go and this, that, the other thing. Is that something consciously that you do with everybody? Because I noticed that with the other two podcasts I listened to, you did that.
Yeah. So for me,
what are you laughing at, Justin? Don't interrupt me with your laughing.
You asked him a question.
I did. I know I did. Shut up. I know what I did. I'm gonna shut up now. Good. You talk. You interview him, Justin.
for a few things, like when I wanted to start a podcast, I wanted to cut the fluff and get like almost right into the episode. That does sound a little bit counterintuitive or hypocritical, just because like I did start out talking to Justin about his hobbies, because that's the point, was to talk about his progeria. But like for me, I value not trying to force the questions that I write down, but go with the flow of a natural conversation. So wherever it goes, I'm okay with it. And I just kind of ride the wave. So that's kind of been my philosophy, is just ride the wave. I think you guys do that really well too. It's just like, you're just talking. And I think the more you can focus on like not trying to like produce a product and just like talk, the better it'll turn out, in my opinion.
And listening, right? You advocate for listening.
Yeah,
which I know I was not do. I listened to you just now, but Justin just called me out on cutting you off. So tell me how you started the podcast. Well, let me tell you that I really liked that episode where you did this. How many times did I do that this interview? Once or twice?
I did twice.
That was the second time?
I didn't even notice.
But I caught it the second time.
I knew exactly why you were laughing. I was like, let me ask him though. Let me ask him. So how's the podcast going now? What episode are you on?
Dude, let me check, honestly.
You're on like 75, I think, right? You're
Yeah.
because you're not too far behind us.
Really?
Something like that. Yeah.
Wow,
at
he's
the
on our
beginning.
heels.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah, it's
Nice.
a competition right now. So it looks like I have 83 episodes.
Nice.
Okay.
So you're above us, I think.
Yeah, he's ahead
You
of
have
us.
more
Yeah, I'm
episodes
better
than
than
us.
you.
We
Dang.
take breaks.
Yeah, we do seasons and take breaks and stuff. We find that better for our probably mental health. It's a lot better that we have stuff because I like when you have something to look forward to, like you know that you're gonna have a break. Not that we don't like doing it, but it's easier to be like, all right, we have 2 more months. Let's make this a great 2 months, and then we could take a break and recalibrate and come back. I mean, it makes sense that pretty much every medium does that, like TV shows but we noticed that podcasts really didn't do that. A lot of the podcasts I saw, they just went straight on and on and on. And just mentally, it's like, even if you love something, you're eventually going to be like, all right, like, when is this going to be over? Like, I need to take a fucking break. And to a lot of people's credit, they batch produce. We don't. A lot of stuff we do is on the spot. Like, we're pretty much live to tape a lot of times because stuff happens just in the moment. We're like, oh, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. And we were kind of fighting that for a while, but now we're just like, let's do it like that because that's how we like it. If we could do something like this where we're interviewing you way before, that's cool, but we like the way we do it. So it's better for our mental health that way. But obviously, you're going right through it, which is cool.
Dude, it's I don't think that's a bad idea. I took like 2 weeks off end of December, and that was so nice, honestly. But dude, I do it on the spot too. Like I don't have anything batched, so there'll be weeks where I'm like,
It's scary.
crap, like I don't have any episode I'm supposed to release one in like 6 days. So like I'll get Aubrey or I'll try and think of something weird, and it's not always the best quality, but like I just try to be consistent. But I honestly will say like taking those 2 weeks off is really good. It like you feel like you have better creativity taking a little bit of a breather.
No, definitely. It's like that thing that Einstein always says, like if you're stuck on a problem, do something else, and then the answer will arise in your brain for the other thing. So it's kind of like that with this. Like we'll take the 2 weeks off, and I'll be like, oh man, I can't wait to come back and talk about this. I can't wait to come back and talk about that. And so we do, and this is like something we choose to do, so we don't throw people off anymore, because we used to just kind of leave. We have everything scheduled in our book. Like we're going on break this day, and we let everybody know leading up to it and when we're coming back, and then we take a month, right? We take a month and a half in the middle. So we take 2 weeks.
That's
and
awesome.
Then a month and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
So since you're ahead of us, and obviously you don't got to take breaks, do you have any advice for other podcasters, maybe like us, besides listening?
Yeah. You know, the biggest advice I can give you, like start listening to podcasts you admire. So I like Steve-O's Wild Ride.
Yeah.
And then like Tiny Meat Gang with Cody Ko. Just like podcasts that are a little bit similar. Like I even listen to Emma Chamberlain. She's kind of off the book.
I love Emma Chamberlain. I got don't let me break out my Emma Chamberlain sweatsuit. I got the Chamberlain Coffee sweatsuit right now.
Yeah, and I just try and like observe. Like I listen to enjoy, but I take notes and observe like how they ask questions. And then I like one thing, for instance, I notice in a few of my episodes, I say, tell us about that. Or like kind of like these phrases that are okay to say, but like I try to cut the fluffy words and just cut to the question I want to ask, which I'm still working on.
Like this?
Let's talk about it.
Like that?
Yeah. And then I burp, and then sometimes I throw up.
Yeah.
But honestly, just like be yourself. I like, at the end of the day, like don't be something you're not. Don't try to fit a mold. And the people that are into it will gravitate towards it, and the people who aren't will not. And if the people who wouldn't have been interested that you're trying to cater to by being fake or not yourself, like it's not worth it. Like it's not good on your mental too.
Right. So that's great advice. What is your favorite podcast besides ours? You don't gotta mention.
Dude, I seriously love y'all so much. I love Steve-O's Wild Ride. He has like really good guests. Like he had T-Pain on there, Aaron Carter, which was like that I Want Candy kid.
Yeah,
like just
of course,
all these like wide spectrum. And then like the girl from Full House, her name's like Jody or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stephanie.
Jody
She was Stephanie on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just like the wide range, and I also like the dynamic of their show. It's just so like chill, and they're in like a bus or whatever, just talking with their guest, and it's just.
You just had
I
my
don't know.
boy Shaggy Two Dope on the show. Did you see that one?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was a great one. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really good. What about you guys? What podcasts do you guys like?
Justin, what do you listen to? Because I don't even. Oh, you listen to Jim Cornette.
I listen to a lot of wrestling podcasts. Well, not
nice.
a lot, but a couple. I listen to Jim Cornette, Salad Monster. I listen to Trash Tuesday, which is a couple of comedians. They have a podcast. I listen to sometimes sex podcasts. I listen to, but that's about it. I don't listen to too
What
much.
sex podcast?
Yeah, what got you into
What
that?
sex podcast? Which one?
I think you put me on to Life. Is it called?
Love Life. Oh, Love Line. Oh, yeah. That's not even a. Was it a podcast? Because it was a radio show for a long time, and we used to listen to archives of that. On
Does
YouTube.
does it give you advice or something? Or
No,
what is
Love
it?
Line was cool because you know Dr. Drew, obviously, because he's on every show. You know Dr. Drew with the white hair, glasses. He's a kind of a buff guy. Well, he's on like every podcast. So him and Adam Carolla used to do a radio show called Love Line where people would call in with their problems or whatever, because Dr. Drew was a doctor, Adam Carolla was a comedian. So, and then they would have guests on, like they had ICP on, Shaggy Too Dope, and
sick.
their Love Lines were the best because that's what I got him on. I started sending him like playlists of ICP on Love Line, and they might have started a podcast, right? Did they do a podcast after they got off the radio? But it's not around anymore.
It is on
Apple, right?
So I just figured it was a podcast.
Yeah, it might have started from as a radio show and then went to a podcast, but that's a
Like
good
I
one.
knew they were old episodes.
Yeah.
Because they stopped, but I guess it's a podcast.
Okay.
So I listened to that. I listened to Call Her Daddy, which is pretty popular.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I listened to our friend, Psychology. So
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm a big I like the Emma Chamberlain podcast too. She was just on Call Her Daddy the other day. She did 2
Yeah,
episodes.
I gotta listen to that one.
It was good. Yeah, Emma Chamberlain's good. I like Trash Tuesday as well. I was always a big fan of Tiger Belly. That's kind of what it was. Tiger Belly, and there's an old podcast called DVD ASA. It was like, I don't know if it was one of the first podcasts, but it was definitely in like blooming of it was like the blooming of podcasts, and that was where
that's the one that Asa Akira, right?
it was Asa Kira and David Cho, who's an artist, and they had a lot of the comedians on there, like Bobby Lee, and that's what inspired Tiger Belly too. So I would listen to like hours of DVDSA and Tiger Belly. But honestly, the first podcast I could tell you that I really dug was Talk Is Jericho. That was, I remember listening to that before. That was when podcasts weren't even a thing. Like they weren't a big deal yet. And I thought about this the other day. It was actually Talk Is Jericho I was listening to like a couple years ago, like maybe like almost 10 years ago now. And I was sitting there listening to on my Apple, and I'm like, man, I would love to do a podcast one day. But I was like, what am I even going to talk about? What am I going to do? I just threw the idea out of my mind. I was like, well, now I'm doing it. So Talk Is Jericho was probably one of the biggest inspirations for me. And he has like a lot of guests and stuff, but sometimes I'll listen to Steve-O. Yeah, well, I like a lot. I love listening to just like even podcasts that I never heard of. I'll just look on the Discovery and just be like, I'm gonna listen to that today and see what it sounds like. That's a good game to play. That's a good game to play because then you're like, as a podcast, you're like, what's going on? What are people doing that I never heard yet? And there's all different styles of podcasts. You got your solos. You have your group shows, or you have your interviews. What's your favorite one to do? Have you done all the kind of styles so far?
I like on my own with Rice Cakes and Pears.
Exactly.
I've only done interviews, and then a couple solos, but I've done one group one where there's like 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's as much as I've done, honestly.
Which is your favorite style to do?
I love interview, just one-on-one. I really enjoy that.
But I was gonna say, like, definitely, I listen to, like you said, Talk Is Jericho occasionally, and on the Discovery, you don't really find too many like group podcasts like us, generic friends and shit. So they're like that rare podcast, I think.
Are we rare?
And I
would say so.
Yeah, I think that's cool about us.
Yeah, that's kind of how DVD ASA was. It was exactly how it was. It was just like a big group of people, and I didn't plan for our show to be like that. I kind of just, the stars just aligned where I started listening to that show maybe like a year before we did ours, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like I could do that. Like that's something that could be possible for us because that makes sense for us to do that. Like we could just have 5 people on the show and it'll be good. So
Yeah,
I
and
guess
I joke about it because at first he wanted to interview a lot of people, and then it turned out our friends are on like every episode.
did I want to interview
So
a lot
it's
of people?
Yeah,
Well, that didn't work out.
yeah. So it's,
I don't
it
even
turned
listen.
out to like you didn't interview
I
nobody.
didn't interview nobody. I was like, I don't feel like listening to these guys.
You
Once in a
interviewed
while, I
me.
will. I got our friend Ben who runs. I'm actually wearing one of his shirts right now. They came out with a
sick.
nice Candyman shirt from Fright Rag.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I just interviewed a podcaster named Lee Sayat who ran Joey Diaz's podcast. I don't know if you know about the Church of What's Happening Now. I had him on, but usually I'm more comfortable with talking to my friends or just talking by myself. So
Yeah.
you have a lot of guests on the show. How do you look for the guests and find the guests? Because that's something that's a pain in my ass. I don't want to do it.
Dude, searching is like the hard. If there wasn't TikTok, my podcast would be dead, like over. So TikTok, the way the algorithm works, I mean, everyone knows what TikTok is now, but it caters to what you watch.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can say you're not interested or whatever. Yeah. So like the For You page started noticing I would see like people with chronic illness or people with diseases or people just with a funny, crazy story or perspective. That's how I saw Justin. And so you just go on there, and then if it feels right or feel like, hey, this could be a cool guest, I go to their page, and they usually have their Instagram. So I go to their Instagram and I DM through there, and like I try to just be honest. I'm like, hey, saw you on TikTok. I have a podcast, X, Y, and Z, Rice Cakes and Pears. It's dedicated to this. I saw your TikTok and I really thought X, Y, and Z was really cool about what you said. I'd love to interview you about X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
If not, no worries, all love. And so that's kind of how I've been doing it.
And you have a lot of guests, so you must have a good track record with your approach.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, honestly.
Right? You get a lot of, you're pretty much like an anomaly, because I hear about a lot of podcasts that reach out and they might not get a lot of responses, and it's kind of hard to get people. So you find it easy for you to do that.
It's easy. You know what it is? So I don't have any issue like getting rejected or like a no response. So I'm cool just shooting my shot either way. Like I don't really take offense to it. So I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't know that doesn't work for a lot of people.
I think the name really helps because when you hit me up, I'm like, oh, Rice Cakes and Pears.
Yeah.
So I looked it up and I listened to a couple of things, and then I'm like, okay, this is a podcast I really want to be on. I have other people that hit me up that I'm like, forget this guy, you know? So I think your name has a lot to do with it because it's interesting.
Dang.
And
yeah, dude,
and
I've never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
And the content is definitely interesting too.
Yeah.
So that's
Thanks.
great.
Yeah, I try to find super unique, different people. Like if I have one guest, like I got to edit this episode today. It's with Hal Walker. I don't know if you know who he is. He's on TikTok. He has like over 1 million followers or whatever. But he has like ME/CFS, which is like this disease that's left him bedridden, but he makes like crazy cool music.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of that on TikTok.
I might
There's
have
a
seen
lot
him.
of like disabled DJs and stuff like that.
Is he
We see
like
that
a
all the
DJ
time.
in bed?
He doesn't DJ. He has like he goes by the name Bonacula.
Okay.
It's like the name of this African instrument. He just plays all these cool instruments, and he's just like a really chill guy. But like I'll have someone like him on, and then I'll have someone like I had this guy. He was a burn survivor.
Wow.
And then I'll go from that to these people who had like a business. They're a woman-owned business, which I thought was like a cool perspective. But that has nothing to do with chronic illness. It's just like unique, different. Right. I don't know. I try to just spice it up.
No, that's the fun part about it. That's what we like probably about this
fun.
the best is we don't even know what to expect a lot of times.
Yeah.
We're just like, let's see what happens this week. We try to, make it, we try to mess with the formula. That's one thing we always do is like, oh, let's do a solo this one, let's do that one. We try to keep it interesting for the people. So you do the same thing.
Yeah, I think the key is like make sure you're doing it for you, like it interests you.
Right.
And if it flops, so to speak, based off the result or like not a lot of people listen, at least you can take comfort in like, wow, I'm proud of what I produced or like what I did.
Well, I don't think you're flopping at all. I doubt you're flopping. 83 episodes in.
It's been good. It's been a good process. I'm in it for the long haul. I just at the beginning there's kind of an uptick, and I think that kind of happens when you start something with like listens, but it's kind of gone down and it's stabilized. But I think I'm just gonna keep grinding and trying to do the best I can, and we'll see what happens.
That's with growth in everything is ups and downs, and there's plateaus with working out, with anything in life. So I'm sure you'll break
it's been a
through
blast.
that. Yeah, this is definitely a blast right now.
Yeah,
I'm having so much fun. I really appreciate you guys asking me on.
As soon as I heard the show, I was like, we got to get this guy on. Like, you got an interesting
Justin
story.
sent me the message. I was like, frig, this is awesome.
No, man, and you showed us a lot of love in the comments and stuff. So of course, man.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, absolutely.
But you did say something on your podcast that I was like, what? Like, you said that I remind you of Pete Davidson. And I didn't take. I'm not saying I take offense to it. There's nothing. Shout out to Pete Davidson. Shout out to Staten Island. Love Staten Island. But what about me reminded you of Pete Davidson?
Bro. So not the way you look. I don't think you look like Pete Davidson. I mean, he is dating Kim K. So
Yeah,
I, don't
I
know
wouldn't
if you're
take
into
offense
Kim
to that
K.
either.
Yeah. So, but like just your mannerisms. Like I was listening to a couple episodes and you're just kind of teasing Justin like in a funny way. It just reminded me of like a bit that Pete Davidson would do where he just kind of makes fun of someone, but it's like really funny. And then just your accent. Like, I don't know.
I have a
and
real
maybe
New
that
York
sounds,
accent.
that's like naive or ignorant of me because I know there's tons of different accents around New York. So there's like different levels, but I'm not aware of those.
No, I'm sure to you a New Yorker's a New Yorker, and pretty much is. I mean, it doesn't really change. And I'm Italian New Yorker, so it's pretty much the same accent.
Yeah,
Okay.
it just the accent, man. And then just like you're very like funny and lighthearted. So it just reminded me of Pete.
You. Well, you reminded us before. I think it was before you said that. I was like, yo, this dude reminds me of Mac Miller so much. Like you look. I think you look like him. I think you just got the vibe.
Bro, he's all-time favorite rapper. That is like the best compliment ever.
Okay, well, I gotta bust your balls about something then, because
Dude,
I was listening to an episode of you were talking to a rapper, and the guy was like, one of you said, do you know anybody that came out of Pittsburgh? And I'm sitting there like, like you were like, I don't know. The guy asked you that. He was like, do you know any rapper that came out of Pittsburgh? And you're like, I don't know. And I'm on the phone with Justin. I'm like, is he fucking serious? And then he's like, dude. I think he said Mac Miller. And you go, oh yeah. And then you're like, I'm wearing a Mac Miller hoodie right now. I was like, is he fucking for real?
Dude,
he's wearing the
I'm
Mac
still
Miller
trying to recover
hoodie.
From that was so embarrassing, and I'm gonna blame it on the brain fog. But honestly, that was like an L.
It was a total W because that was the best part of that episode. I loved it. That's something that me and Justin would do, by the way. So we can relate to that. I mean, probably not my favorite rapper, but that was. And then you had the fucking hoodie on.
Yeah, I had the hoodie on and everything, dude.
And you had the nerve to be like, yeah, I got it on right now, bro. It's my favorite. I would have been like, oh.
I'm taking this thing off.
I would have threw on a towel. I would have been like, ah.
And well, it's funny, too, because he's like, there's not a ton of rappers that come out of Pittsburgh.
That's what we said. Like, we were like, who even comes out of Pittsburgh? Wiz Khalifa and this guy and Mac Miller.
Yeah.
We were like, it's not like it's from New York where you're like, oh, Locks, DMX, Jay-Z.
Yeah, man, that was very disrespectful to Mac.
It was wild, especially because you could probably be a Mac Miller impersonator to me. Like you could definitely go to a club like the Drake impersonator. You can go to the club and you can impersonate. But that's your favorite rapper of all time?
Yes, absolutely. I listen to him honestly every single day. The past, do you guys listen to Spotify? Or are you into Apple Music?
Apple.
Okay. So on Spotify, it does like your end of year thing, and I'm in the top 1% of Mac Miller listeners.
Wow,
so.
it's a big accomplishment. Big accomplishment.
Yeah.
Wow.
I gotta pay my dues.
Dang.
And I just love his music. I can relate to it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, you love it too, right, Justin? You're a big Mac
Miller. Yeah, we talk about it on the show. I like Mac Miller.
See, I wasn't paying attention. I was right in one ear, right out the other. Any other favorite rappers? What's your top 5? Do you have a top 5?
Yo, Mac. I love rappers that just tell a story, but I'm also like a pretty sad dude a lot of times, so I gravitate to Mac for that reason as well. But Juice WRLD, Drake, just because he slaps pretty good.
Right.
Kid Cudi.
Okay.
I love Cudi. I know not all of Cudi's music is great, but it resonates with me just because he's so raw and real. Like, it doesn't always sound the best, but I really do respect his work, especially his older stuff. But I really liked his newest album. Kanye, I'm not like a Kanye like huge fan by any means, but I do always.
You
check
don't go
his
to the
music
Kanye
out.
church event? You don't go to the big church in the desert?
Yeah, he came to Salt Lake and like everyone went. I didn't go though.
Yeah, you didn't want to pay like $1,000 to sit in the back of the desert
Yeah.
and listen to church music. No, they had a stream. You could just watch the stream. Like I was like, I'd way rather
Honestly,
do
though.
this than be in Kanye stock or whatever. What was it called? What was that event called? Church
Sunday service.
Sunday service. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're big Kanye. Anybody underground? Like maybe not unheard of, but
Yeah.
somebody
yeah.
that's a little niche of a topic person.
Do you listen to like Joyner Lucas? Because you like storytelling. He tells a lot.
Yeah, I've listened to a bit of Joyner. I'm trying to see what
You
I.
said you're a sad guy. You like Little Peep, XXX, that kind of crew.
Dude, I like XXX a lot.
They're making a documentary about
Little
him.
Peep I need to get into.
You do. They're making a documentary about X. It's gonna be on Hulu like in the next couple months.
Oh, that's gonna be sick.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild. I'm sure they said they're gonna have unseen footage and stuff. So there's a lot of footage of that dude that was in circulation already. So I can't even imagine what they got.
Yeah, for real. There another one. He's more of like singer, songwriter, but he does rap a bit. It's I don't even know how to say it, but it's Versace
Okay,
with a Z, like Zach.
Okay.
Versace.
got it.
But I like his music a lot. I also like Claro. That's not rap at all. Claro's sick.
And we listen to everything around here. So we listen to pop. You know, I love
Yeah.
Selena Gomez, my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Camila Cabello. I probably like her the best. I don't know. Her albums pretty much slap to me all the way through.
Oh, yeah.
So. You like her?
Yeah, I like Camila. Like I'm down for anything. Country, I wouldn't say I'm too high on.
I like a little
But
bit.
I'll listen.
I like a little bit. Yeah, so you're a pop guy too then.
Yeah.
You probably liked
for sure.
Ariana for a while when your boy was dating her. You probably bought a couple of her albums. And then when they
Dude,
broke up, did you
she's
rip
so
up the
good.
posters? Did you rip up your Ariana posters when they broke up?
Well, no.
Okay.
I never had a poster, but I think Ariana's really good though. I mean, she dated two of my guys now, like Mac and Pete.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, Pete made his way around. So when you compared me, I was like, I'm not going to complain about that.
Yeah, seriously.
You're going to compare me to that dude? I'm not complaining at all. So what are you doing now besides the podcast? What are you doing in life right now? You going to school, right?
Yeah, man.
For
So
what?
I actually just transferred. So I was going to BYU for a little bit. It's like a Mormon school in Utah, but I actually just transferred. So the school is just really like, it's very prestigious. And
Oh.
I think unknowingly you kind of think, oh, wow, it'd be great to go to like a really competitive school academically. But once you get there, like you find out you can't get into any of these majors because you have to apply to them and you have to have like a 4.0, which I'm not capable of. And so I just decided to transfer last minute, like a month ago, to a school. It's in the same area, but it's called Utah Valley University, but it's
Okay.
like way more chill. It's not a religious school. It's just like a public school. It's almost like a community college, but I've been really happy with it because now I can just focus on my studies and not worry to like have to apply and get these crazy grades.
What do you want to do when you get out of school? What are you going to school for?
I'm figuring that out right now. I've kind of struggled with indecisiveness. I like to
Oh, so you could
just do it. Yeah.
I know all about it. Ask that guy.
Yeah, I just have no idea what to do. Why do you struggle with it, Justin?
No, I know about it.
Oh, you
Yeah,
oh,
it's
you
me.
know
I'm
about
saying
it.
ask him about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll
Oh,
go
yeah.
back and forth, quick stop. I'm like, pick a decision.
How about we do this? How about we do that? How about we do this? Let's do that instead. In the day of the show, I'm like, we're gonna cut that out. Let's do this instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have so many
I was born like
ideas. And like I go through phases. I'm like, oh, I should do the logical route. I'm gonna major in computer programming. Then I'm like, I don't know, this doesn't really fit me. And then now I'm like, okay, maybe digital marketing or something like that. So something business related, but I really do not know.
Is there anything you're most leaning towards right now? Like if you're like, if I had to pick something right now, I would say this probably.
Maybe just marketing at this
Marketing?
point.
That's the
Just
best
to
thing you
get
can
out
do.
of there.
I'll send you a book that I got on marketing. And I found
Yeah?
I have a pretty good book on that I read that exposed me to some cool stuff. I'll send it to you.
Dude, please do.
I'll send you the name. I'm not sending you the book. I'm not Barnes and
Autograph
Noble.
it.
Yeah, I'm not Oprah. It's gonna be
I'm
look
like,
under your
dang, dude,
chair.
That's like super generous.
Look under your chair. There's a book. I wanted to make that clear. I'm sending you the link, brother. I'm not sending you the book.
Yeah, I was like, dang, dude, that's like extra level of
maybe,
nice.
maybe next time. Maybe next time. Maybe next time.
Yeah, if I come up, we can do a formula taste test, and I'll grab the book.
I would love that. We got to make that happen. Try a different kind of food.
I want to come up to New York.
We can't do it without you. Like we would definitely do it if you weren't cool. We'd be like, oh, let's just do it. But we can't do it without you now.
Yeah, dude.
You want to come up here? Come. We got you. We got you.
Dude, I'm serious. Like if I'm ever in the area, I'll let you guys know.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. So like you said you're into swimming and you're a coach, I think you said. Is that in your future? Like, do you want to do more of that?
Yeah, so it's definitely a passion for sure. I would love to coach college someday. It's not a career where like you make money to provide for a family. But like if I did coach college, that might help with that. And then honestly, I'm grinding on my podcast because I want to monetize it to some extent.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to sell my soul, but I want to like start making a little bit of money with it, which would be sweet.
Yeah.
But I like the dream would be like podcast and coaching. Like I would love to do that.
What are you using? Because you're not using Zoom. What technology are you using to record your podcast?
Yeah, it's called Zencaster. So it's like a free program where you can just do like electronic or virtual interviews with people.
Okay. You ever thought about just switching over to Zoom? Because you didn't get Justin's beautiful face on your last one. You missed the boat on that one. I was like, what do you mean you don't got the video? I was like, damn.
Yeah, no, it would have been perfect for like promotion too. Yeah, I mean, I definitely like after this, definitely want to try doing some Zoom interviews.
Yeah, try Zoom. It might be better for you because I mean, I'm sure Zencaster is good. I never heard of it, but yeah, if it crapped out on the video, you might need to switch teams now.
Yeah, well, and I also need to get a new computer because my computer is like from 2012 and it's just like shutting down on me. And so this computer I'm on is actually it's a Mac.
Really? Okay. So usually they don't break down like that because I've had mine for a long time. Well, 2012, that's a while from now. Yeah, that's probably time. It's probably time to get a new computer then. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some viruses on there because like I would download music from YouTube for beats or whatever.
What are you talking about? What are you about to download? I thought you was about to say something else.
Yeah, just wanted to get it out there, you know.
What are you downloading on there?
Dude, everything, man. Just wieners and all that good stuff.
Any other future plans that you have on the horizon? Any goals you want to share? Just a podcast?
Just podcast, man. I might come out with an album for my music, rap, just on SoundCloud.
Nice.
Yeah, I
Justin, give him an intro for the album. What's up, motherfuckers? G2 gang! G2 gang, gang, gang!
Dude, we'll have you on the chorus.
G2 gang, bitch!
Dude,
what's
G2
up?
gang.
You don't have it anymore, Justin, but you're still in the gang. You're like the old
Honestly,
guy.
Yeah,
the
forever
old
and always. I'd say maybe make some music. Just going through school, I want to just have a degree, just to have that on my resume. But just right now, just going with what I enjoy, which is coaching and podcasting.
That's great, man. That's great. Well, let everybody know where they could find you, how they get a hold of you.
Yeah, man. Just Instagram, TikTok is Rice Cakes and Pears, all lowercase. And then my podcast is on all platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you like to listen to podcasts, just Rice Cakes and Pears. So
it's great. It's a great show.
Thank you.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
To get back to the eating habits. You say your wife is a slow eater. Now that you started eating, are you a fast eater?
Great question.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dude, yeah.
So now there's still a time difference between you two. Now you're still sitting around while she's eating.
Yeah, dude. It's I don't know what it is, man. I just scarf things down, especially drinks. Like I'll get like a 32-ounce soda and I'll chug that thing in like 10 seconds.
Well, you're used to drinking the shakes and stuff, so you're probably used to just chugging stuff.
That's what it is, honestly. I bet. So in Utah, they have these, instead of bars, like they have bars in Salt Lake, but not a lot of people drink. So every block there's a soda shop. So like a mocktail, if you will. Cool. Yeah, so like you can get a Mountain Dew. It's called one that I like. It's called Summer Lovin', and it has like Mountain Dew, strawberry, peach, and like other flavors that you can put in it. It tastes crazy good. And then they have a one that's like Bad Berry Doctor or something weird, and it's Dr. Pepper half and half and like raspberry puree. It's
no way.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't drink,
it's really
so
good.
I don't drink, so maybe we got to go to Utah instead, Justin. Let's
Dude,
go over there.
Hit it up, man.
Let's do. Me and you go bar hopping. Justin will have to go to the other bar. Oh, no, you have to leave Utah.
Yeah, there's one bar.
Is there?
Yeah, there's one bar in Provo, which is like where BYU is.
Okay.
But then in Salt Lake, there's bars everywhere. Like that's where like the people who want to go drink, they go over there.
Now, does your wife drink?
No.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
So
we
it's
don't. We
a
both
sober
don't
house.
drink. We both are in the same religion, so like we don't drink or smoke or do any of that stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, we our vice, so you could say, is soda. It's called So Delicious. It's a pretty clever
and
name.
there's multiple bars in Utah that do that.
Yeah, dude.
That's amazing.
There's Swig, So Delicious, Quench It, just like all these funny.
What's your favorite cocktail?
Dude, Summer
unquote.
Lovin' goes hard, but I've been really loving the Berry Bad Doctor, which is that Dr. Pepper drink.
Oh, that sounded good. Half and half.
When they put the cream in it, it's good, man.
What about an old school Shirley Temple? You ever had that?
I think there is. I
classic.
think that one. It's called the Blue Shirley Temple, I believe.
That's a classic that you get when you're a kid at the bar, so you feel like you're part
yeah.
of the boys. And that's
Yeah,
what I drink now when
you
I'm
have
at the
to have
bar. So I still feel like I'm part of the boys. So we'll just leave you at the bar with Mo, Justin. You can carry Mo home, and me and Rice Cakes and the wife will be bar
I'm not
hopping.
carrying him. I'm dragging him.
We'll just have sugar rushes. We'll just be like this, like we'll just be all wired up. So that's it. I did have one other thing. Bust your balls again. So on Justin's episode, I didn't know. I thought you were working for the FBI or something. I didn't know you were a swim coach, because he was like, you were like, yeah, you got your friend Gritty, and he was like, yeah, you knew him for a long time. He was like, yeah, and you're like, what's his real name? Like his government name, and he was like, what? Like you're like, like and he was like, is that his real name? He's like, no. He's like, well, what's his real name? What's his government name? And he's like, Thomas. And you're like, I'll call him Gritty. And I was like, what, this guy want my social? This guy want my social security card too? This guy's asking a little too many questions.
Right.
Where does he live?
Dude, yeah, I was trying to
It
track
was
you
funny
down,
though.
man.
It was funny though. I loved it. I just remember I was cleaning or something. I was like, what? Like, it was odd. I didn't know. He's like, you asked for my real name. He's like, I'll call him Gritty anyway. I was like, so what was the point? Like, what was the point of that?
Honestly, general curiosity, because I'm like,
Nah, it was
there's no
cool.
way
I'm
his
just
name's
fucking with
Gritty.
you. I'm just fucking with you.
That's hilarious.
And I was also like, why would you ask if that was my nickname? Obviously, that's a nickname. I didn't come out the womb with that one. That might have been cool though. My parents was like, you're gonna be Gritty.
Well, it's a dance move now. Is that what does Gritty come from?
That was just like, I was looking at words and I was like, that's a cool word, and I just changed it to D's. Like I was looking at, because I started rapping around that time, and I was like looking through names, and I just started looking through all these different words. I was like, I never seen the word Gritty before, and I was like, but I don't like these T's, so I'll just change it to D's, and that was it. Not a great origin story for my name.
No.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, you can call me Thomas though. Don't worry about it. I'm not giving you my social.
Yo,
I'm not giving you my social or my credit card.
social is 1237.
Yeah. Beep. Social is. Yeah, listen, that wouldn't be the first time we had to edit out crazy sensitive information from the show, as we told you. We've had to edit out some wild stuff. So that would be normal for me to have to edit out a social or something like that. Well, you can find me. You can find Thomas at It's Gritty Bitch on Instagram. You can also go to my YouTube. You can go to Gritty World, and of course, go to the Gritty World YouTube channel and the Gritty World Instagram. Justin?
And the Gritty Girl Clips channel.
Yeah, the Gritty
Or
World Clips
GKB.
channel, where we
GKB Clips.
GKB Clips channel. We just started that because we don't want to clog up our feed with clips and full podcasts. So you can go, and the full podcast drop on every Friday. So you will see the Valentine's Day special come up this Friday. It's out right now if you haven't heard it on the regular feed though. Yeah, Justin.
You can find me on Twitter at Real Jason Biggis, on Instagram and TikTok, Real Jason Biggis 93. My YouTube, Justin Simbitis, and my gaming channel, Sims Gaming.
You want to talk about not listening? I always zone out during that
I
part.
know.
That's just too much.
Because
I always love when I can look at podcasts and I can see when I space out. I notice it. I was watching one of them the other day. I was like, yep, there I am. I'm gone. I'm in outer space.
Somewhere else.
Well, let me tell you, Zach, you're very interesting because I did not space out once. So
Yeah.
I did not. Did I do a good job listening today? Did I talk over?
You both of y'all did awesome. Like I had a lot of fun. I don't normally get asked to be on podcasts, so this was like super fun.
Well, hopefully you'll come on some more.
Yeah.
Bro, I'd love to.
I'd love to have you again.
That was so fun.
Thanks a lot. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, obviously the ending. Peace and love. See you next time.